And as you return your attention into the outer room, Akasha greets each of you. And as I do, may the great realms of light, in this day that completes the most recent cycle, known to you as the 7 sacred weeks, a time that is a great outpouring of light to the people of earth, and especially to those who have discovered this, and who set aside a few moments every day to acknowledge, to honor the great ones, to send your love, and to be open and receptive, and to say to these ones, here I am, flood me with your light and love. And this day I am asked by Her Excellence, the Queen of Light, to greet you with all of her divine light, as this is that day, that 49th day, and she offers her cosmic light to each of you. In her words, she invites a remembrance, the power of your acceptance, the power of your attention, the power of your ability to pour love to a being who is accomplished, and your ability to be open for a few minutes, to be receptive and receive that light of the being that you are pouring your love to. It is this that forms the bridge between your octave precious hearts and the Ascended Master realms. It is the combination of those activities that creates that bridge, that each of you then may go forth from those precious moments that you set aside to do these things. The more you are blessed. She offers you her endless light. In these Tree of Life classes, I am offering variations of mentoring and support to this journey that each of you are upon. In what the people of earth do not yet know, yet each of you know, the earth, the third dimensional reality, has entered into what we call a 7th golden age. There have been many golden ages, well, 6 as you know, and there have been lesser ages. This is intended to be the last golden age that will occur in the third dimension of planet Earth. As you do understand that there are greater dimensions or octaves or stratospheres of light, different terminology for the same activity, so too you understand that the first and second dimensions belong to the elements and the elemental beings. The third dimension belongs to each of you, an opportunity to evolve that which is the elemental nature of your being and the spiritual nature of your being as well. The fourth dimension does not exist anymore. It was what was referred in astral plane, in ancient metaphysics as the astral plane. Over hundreds of thousands of years, sinister thought forms, poltergeists, discarnate entities came to live within those astral planes, and those planes became charged with psychic energy. And of course, it's only proper that I remind you of our understanding and how we speak of psychic energy. We speak of psychic energy as we see it and as we know it. We know that this is the energy of the feeling body of peoples. Even though the mind is given you to be that place where you direct your life, where you make choices, it is the feeling body that gives the greater evidence as to whether those choices, those decisions, those plans, those hopes and dreams and aspirations are actually occurring. The mind is where we design. The great activity that stands between the mental realm and the physical realm. is the activity that the people of Earth has most denied. And that is the feeling side of life. And if people have denied the feeling side of life, people have denied the heart. If people have denied the heart, they have denied love. And if people have denied love, they have denied the mother's presence of our universe without knowing that there is this pattern of denial. So let's go back to my thought that what stands between the place where you plan your life, your mind, and physical reality, where your plans through the experience side of life unfold, as well as your own physical body. What stands between the two is the great feeling side of life. And for all of you, you have a feeling body. And so it is in the feeling body that some individuals have the ability to intuit, or through other means, get into other people's emotional body, feeling body, and read the momentum of everything that is there. Again, let us understand, the mind on its own cannot qualify substance as to how substance and energy is going to act. The mind requires the feeling side of life as that which impregnates, that which registers consciousness, the thinking consciousness, upon the substance of the flesh or the substance of the outer world. The feeling body is that all-important player. So when you consider the many problems that individuals have had with their physical bodies, the many problems that people have with the experience side of life in the outer world, and in reviewing these things, I will always seek to review in a different way that opens to an even greater shift in each of you, so that you come to understand that the feeling body is everything. It is everything. And if the feeling body is conflicted, if it has become dysfunctional, one can come to a place that they cannot even think straight, as you might say in your world. They can't think with clarity. There can be a fog of some sort. Depression is not produced by the mental body. Depression is an activity of the emotional body. And you can understand that if the emotional body has gone awry, if it has gone a wreck, the impact that it not only has on physical reality, everything then starts backing up. And then the impact is not only upon the outer reality, the physical body, the impact then is upon the mental body. And of course today you understand that in the outer world, more than any other time in recorded history, there is more what the world calls mental disorder, mental disease, attention deficits, disorders, all sorts of different things that the medical and educational institutions are dealing with today, don't you? So you've come to understand how important your feelings are, to be in touch with your feelings, critically, clinically, ideally. Critically, clinically, ideally, is the action of consciousness to naturally register upon substance. Everything consciousness is evolving. Today, in your great awakening, you've discovered that in your main three-body system, mental body, emotional body, physical body, you understand that it is in your mental body and your emotional body that you can expand consciousness, grow consciousness, nurture consciousness, or you can also What is the opposite in this world of expansion? Contraction. You can have a contraction going on. The physical body and the physical world of experience and reality is where everything unfolds. But the beginning place of any activity within our consciousness, within our universe, is consciousness. Matter, in an ideal form, which is a marriage of all the elements, earth, air, water, fire, ether, all of these in constant planetary marriage are creating kingdoms of substance. Today, modern processing, agriculture, farming, technologies, engineering can take and make substances that are produced from things that grow in this world. Today, technology is so advanced that substances can be created, that once they are created, it would be very difficult to track that substance from an artificial substance back to any roots of being a natural substance that once grew on the earth. Can you imagine all the change of what happens to the substance of ore, various types of ore and iron, etc.? Industry, the transformation of ore such as iron to become mighty steel beams of buildings or platforms of automobiles, you understand? It's a constant industrial and otherwise transformation of substance. Yet it matters not the communications, matters not the technology, matters not the industry. If consciousness was not part of the matter that forms substance, how does iron become mighty steel beams used in constructing high-rises? You might say to yourself, well, there is a matter of an industry that brings this about, correct? Yet I assure you that there is an impersonal state of consciousness that registers within the elements, in which iron knows its capacity to become a steel beam. Not only this, in the purest state, matter exists everywhere in the universe. Everywhere. Ideally, time does not exist, except that it is a convenience. It is an invention, a measure of invention. But it is not real. Your scientists will discover the speed of light and all of these things are simply conventions that are created by science to bring about determinations. And if there is no time, the question has been asked by many scientists, and the question is being stirred by philosophers leaning upon science. Does consciousness impact substance? Well, of course it does, and you know that. But does substance exist separate from consciousness? Absolutely. Everywhere. Even what you call space that exists between planets, suns, satellites, all of that space is substance. Does it remain separate from consciousness? For a time. All substance, whether it is the space that fills interstellar space, it's all elements acting as space. Separate from consciousness, but at any moment desiring to become something. Matter desires to become something. Substance, matter, always desires. It is created to become something. Its position is one of constant neutrality until consciousness touches matter. The moment it touches matter, it qualifies matter, substance, as to how that is going to begin to act as energy acting. I feel it is very important, precious students, that you realize and remember there are two other ways that we speak of your physical body and the body of your beloved presence. When we speak of your own physical body, we speak of them as being made of atomic substance. When we speak of the body of your presence, we say your presence body is made of an electronic substance. The work that we shall bring forth in Shasta soon will be very important for you to remember this for the blessings and the bridges that seek to be offered. In this world, elements that can receive life are atomic. Those atomic elements are matter in which consciousness has touched them, infused upon them to become something. In the realms of perfection, starting with the Ascended Master realms, the atom is not the law. The law of the third dimension is the law of the elements. The law of the elements, the 5 elements, in a third dimensional scenario is the law of the atom. The law of a 5th dimensional frequency Ascended Master plane is the law of the electron. The atom can register anything that consciousness applies it to. The electron can only register perfection. Therefore, for an electron to become active and to become some activity of perfection, this requires a state of perfect consciousness to act upon that electron. A state of duality consciousness communicating, as you have already found out, a state of duality consciousness communicating with an electron gets nothing done. The electron does not respond. The electron as substance, light substance. The electron is light substance. The atom is elemental substance. The third dimension is made of the 5 elements. The 5th dimension is made of pure light. It has the elements of earth, air, water, fire, ether, but all under the authority of the electron. The electron can only respond to a perfect mind, produce perfection, and therefore it is only thus far in the evolution of your people and your earth that only the electron in the higher realms of perfection can produce perfect forms and perfect substance in the outer worlds. Are you following this, precious hearts? One of the great blessings of Shasta this year is to introduce the first marriage between the elemental self and the electronic self of your divinity. This would not be possible 5-7 years ago. Possible only now because your spiritual heart, your whole spiritual center is completely different from the rest of your physical body. In fact, your physical body may go through periods of requiring a few more naps than it usually does get. A little more deeper quality sleep, because you have this profound heart center that is fully active now. Let me say it in a different way. If I was to take your whole heart center out of you and place it in a new body that was created in the Ascended Master realms, that your heart center as it is presently today, if a new body was created in the Ascended Master realms, but we took the heart center for that body from one of you, that heart center would be sufficient to govern the intelligent being that would come to live in that physical garment. Did that make sense to you? That is amazing. Precious hearts. The expansion of the flames within the brow, the great spiritual center within the physical garment. 3 years of transforming. The atomic substance of your physical body has direction. It has potential. It can change. The electronic substance of your beloved I Am presence can never become less than. It can never become less than a state of perfection. But when through 3 or 4 different forms of ascension, you provide a physical body for your presence, that physical body is taken into the light of the presence, and then the presence expands its electronic body throughout the raised physical form, and so now the presence is much more. It is not just an electronic body, it is an electronic physical body, and now can function anywhere in the universe, not only in light realms of pure light, can actually function in physical realms. What a journey that you are on. In this journey, the body that each of you are carrying and living within is a body that is intended to grow with you. That's the wonderful nature of the atom. It can grow under your direction. But how does the atom, how do the cells of your physical body grow under your direction? Every single second. The totality of your thinking, of your feeling, of your attitudes, your perceptions, your truths, the words you speak, every single second. All of this, as actions of consciousness, are registering. We're stamping that state of consciousness upon the cells, the atoms of your physical body. As your light realm, what is your present light realm? Your present light realm is your mind. As your light realm and as your love realm, your present love realm is your feeling body. As your present light realm, your mind increases light. As your present love realm, your feeling body increases love, then your ability to think with much greater light and feel with much greater love, and the bond that you have now created, the healing that you have through the experience side of life and everything that you have suffered, that bond between your mind and feelings is better than it has ever been. The groom and the bride, the conflict, the separation, the divorce is over. You have reunified your minds and hearts. You have proven at times that you can think and feel purposely, ideally, and absolutely. And the more you do this, the more you are causing the consciousness of your thoughts, feelings, words, perceptions, attitudes, to project that and register it upon the substance of your physical body. What is the substance of your body that registers your consciousness? The atomic structure, the flesh structure. So, as your minds come with greater light, your feelings come with greater love, you are moving and shifting yourself into a clear, thinking, loving creator being. As I said and left you last Wednesday, upon the spiritual journey, there are ups and downs. But during the process, if you stay with the process, if you don't let the ego try to convince you that this spiritual path is too overwhelming, because only the ego could do that, and you stay the course, then everything eventually begins to smooth out. There are improvements. And so many times we've said to you, don't miss the small improvements. If you miss acknowledging the small improvements, that will delay the advancing of the big ones. So you do come to a place where everything is improving, health improves, the experience side of life improves. So when on this journey of consciousness, as you understand how do you participate in consciousness? Thinking, feeling, planning, using your mind and feelings, those are the two engines that you qualify your consciousness. Your consciousness then acts upon the substance it first comes in contact with. The first contact that your consciousness comes in contact with is your physical body. As your physical body radiates your energy out into the world, that and the actions that you take all contributes to the experience side of life. So here we get to the prize now. What slows all of this down? What keeps this from being an advancing improvement, the likes of which you almost have an idea, can I keep up with this change? Even though it's so remarkable, even though it's so beautiful, even though it's so magnificent, even though I am falling in love with more and more with life, can I keep up with this? Will I drop the ball? Will I be able to keep up with it? Yes. It's about application. And in this moment, I'm not talking about the application, the spiritual protocol, that all of you in your awakening, you know that you are asked to set aside half an hour a day to enter into the sacred fire, to speak your decrees to your presence and to us, and to finish your time with some meditation. You know that that's your daily application, that's your spiritual protocol. But in this instant, if things seem to slow, because this path ought to be, the path that you are on is a path of resurrection. Again, what does resurrection mean? As simply as you can say it. It means to rise up and out, to resurrect up and out. I am resurrected up and out of the tomb of Arimathea, of the tomb of duality. The resurrection, the raising activity. As we move forward, I ought to love to know that each of you have placed yourself upon a conscious path of resurrection, in which all your days are days of constant glory, constant improvement, coming into a much greater understanding of who you are, and an ease of being yourself, an ease of knowing yourself, and knowing it is the best thing to be, but it is not possible if this knowing yourself and being yourself. One of the greatest pieces of wisdom that could ever be given an individual. Just be yourself. Instinctively, you know how to do this. Yet this requires another activity. And that means talk to yourself. Talk to yourself more often. The kind of application that I was referring to, if in this journey of consciousness, this journey of becoming, this journey of resurrection, the kind of application, when I say to you, would you like to advance? Would you like a quickening of everything? Can you handle it? How much greatness can you handle in your life, Olivia?
As much as I desire.
As much as you desire and more. Then it's about application. Not application in the spiritual protocol. It's the application of everything you are studying, everything you're taking into your awareness, the higher laws of manifestation, everything you are studying. Is it changing the way you think? Is it changing the way you feel? Is it changing the way you react or respond? Or, and this requires such personal and intimate contemplation and looking at, one that is no other person's business. I think you have a phrase in your world, but I think it only partially gets close to it. It's about walking your talk. Is that it? But it's more than that. It's like, is your thinking, are your words, do they reflect what you're studying? Or is what you're studying still sitting on an audio recording? Is what you're studying still sitting in a beautiful book that you bought? And you may return your attention a few times a year. Oh, I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that. I'm happy I picked this book up again. Listen to that recording again. This is the key. How much? Your messenger brought to a precious student that he loves, and it's only because he loves her so much, and they are very close friends, that they have the understanding that they can speak up to each other. And your messenger here brought to this student just the other day, repeated back to her what she was saying. And do you know what her response was? Did I say that? Yes, that's what you said. So if you don't know what you just said 20 seconds ago, how in touch are you? Are you really grounded? Maybe not. So are your thoughts? Is your thinking, the way you speak, is it changing? Is it changing because you're studying, you're growing, you're assimilating a tremendous amount of knowledge? Are you applying it? Are you the same person? Maybe you're different here. Maybe you're different here when you come to church, when you come to your temple, when you come to your sacred space. Maybe you're different here. But tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock when you go off to work or out in the city, are you going to be the same person that you are here? Or are you going back to be the person that you were? That is the piece that will hold you back or advance you. Core tenet to any valuable spiritual teaching is why a person must face fear, must understand what is fear. And how can a person bring themselves to a place where they feel safe enough and can have reason within their intellect and their heart as to why they can ascribe to a state of peace, a feeling of safety, and go on about their lives where fear with certainty is a feeling and an experience of the past. Look at your dialogue. Listen to yourself. Watch yourself speak. Give your closest spiritual friends permission. Not all of them, they'll drive you crazy. Pick one person that's on the path like you, that you see fairly often, and say, if you hear me saying things that's like an awakened person wouldn't think and talk like that, bring it to my attention. Because that's the gap. And it's up to you now, precious hearts, how much you're going to narrow that gap. Worry. You ought never even use that worry. A son told me 5 days ago he heard an advanced student just slip right out of his mouth the word hate. Didn't even know he'd said it. Is that conscious? Clearly he doesn't have any hatred in him. But if you say, oh, I hate it when it happens, it's a habit. Doesn't mean you really hate. Hate is a terrifying energy. But we are beings of consciousness, creator beings. And substance and matter has always loved us more than we realize. Substance, matter, energy has always been there. The powers of nature and the force of the elements, they have always been there as servants. Qualify me, says the matter. And your first contact with matter is your physical bodies. I say to you, and I pray it well, that it will be a short moment into your life. But that moment will come when you will all be sickened to have the realization, and the realization will come to you in the experience. And you'll say, all this time I had the power to change my physical body, to change what was going on in my body, to change the appearances of my body. I had that ability. It'll just sicken you for a quick moment. And then you'll get over yourself because you'll realize that it's that sickening, that's that state of consciousness that you were in for so long that kept you from knowing that you're a being of consciousness. Every moment, every single moment. How many moments in a minute? How many are there? Maybe 60. Maybe you'll go deeper into time and qualify them even more so. But everyone, every heartbeat, and definitely between any two breaths, your consciousness is registering upon the cells of your body. How many trips have you made around your physical sun? Do each of you know how many trips you've made around your sun? It's your birth year, beloved. How long does it take your planet to evolve around your sun? How many?
365 days.
Well, I'll let you all figure it out, whether it's a day or whether it's 365 days. So you go back to your astronomy and you understand again, you review how long does it take your planet to make a full cycle around your physical sun. Then ask yourself the question, how many trips have I taken around the physical sun? Interesting? Okay, now precious hearts. So where do the big changes and advances come in our lives? When everything we're studying, assimilating, when it becomes part of our consciousness, we're thinking it, We're feeling it. We're speaking it. I absolutely agree with anyone. The spiritual path will become definitely overwhelming for a person who does not apply what they're studying. The most wonderful thing, change is a natural part of evolution. Natural. Natural. So precious, so vulnerable have been those within the first 30 years of their lives. Wonderful new young people coming into the world now, coming into their adult years. A big thing is going to happen to the people who are between 25 and 65 now. Because that's the group of people who for too long became hardened. This is what life is. If you look at the history of the people, you will find that generally started around 25 and just continued, so that I could go up to most people on this earth who are 65 to 70, and I could say to them, you haven't changed since you were 25 years old. You're the same person. And a lot of them are proud of it. Yep, I'm proud of it too. Yet change is magnificent. It's part evolution. It's the way we are all created. More. So my gift to you tonight, precious hearts, is, do you desire? Don't come to a son and I with your intellect. Will I accomplish my resurrection in 3 years, 6 years? If you keep thinking with and acting with a duality mind, the answer is probably not. It's only when you start thinking, acting, visioning, feeling, speaking in accordance to the great things that you are studying. And this requires a change of mind. Is a change of mind complete without a change of heart? Now that you know the mind, the light, the heart, the feeling, is a change of mind complete without a change of heart? And if you have a change of heart, must not this lead to a change of mind? Yes. Absolutely. I will leave you with this one thought. You have a plan for this life. It is a magnificent plan. This plan does not universally determine when this life starts. Your life did not start when you were born. From our point of view, your life started from the moment you began your awakening. And that moment is not chosen by the universe. That moment is chosen by each person. That is a personal matter. One person might choose to awaken in their 18 years in the garment. Another person may choose to awaken and they're 80 years in the garment. There's no right or wrong. The only thing is, if you're 80 years in the garment and you're just starting your awakening, do you have enough time to impact your health and life? That's the only question in accordance to your studies. See, I'll leave you with this. So out of my talk this evening, do you understand the point that I wish to move with? That spirituality does improve your life. It does. Now, those improvements are steady, and they come with moments, and those moments can be challenges. There can be spikes in the path, but there can be a time where those improvements really quicken. Really quicken. But they only happen when how you use your consciousness reflects the truth you are studying. Do you understand that? Through your mind, through your feelings. Only you can ask yourself If I would like things to quicken in the natural course of improvement, are there ways that I think and feel that are not in alignment with the teachings that I have chosen for my advancement? And in these teachings, I hope it is all clear to you, precious hearts, and I will say it in a very simple way from your world. All of you have chosen what I would call, and I'll set a son up for his part, what I would call Plan A. Now I'll say something to you, and I hope you'll hear it. If everything you are doing in your spiritual life, if you have a Plan B, then you don't believe in Plan A. I thank you, precious hearts.